Airlines used to roll out the red carpet for senior travelers, dedicated ticket counters, special discounts, priority treatment, all standard practice through the 1990s and early 2000s. Today, they pretend you don't exist unless you're paying for first class or you've got elite status earned from flying 100,000 miles a year. Somewhere between then and now, the industry decided that age no longer deserves acknowledgement. But here's what happened while they were busy eliminating the obvious perks. Buried in federal regulations, disability access laws, and airport policies are 10 services that make travel dramatically easier after 60. Real services with phone numbers, actual staff, and legal mandates behind them. The catch: you have to know they exist, and you have to ask for them by name. Most seniors walk right past these benefits on every single trip. Not because they don't qualify, but because nobody tells them these programs are there. Airlines save money when you don't ask. Airports run smoother when fewer people claim what's available, so the whole system quietly relies on your silence. But once you know what to request, where to find it, and exactly what words to use, travel transforms. The exhaustion fades, the confusion clears, and you start moving through airports like someone who knows the system instead of fighting it. Stay with me through all 10, because the first benefit I'm revealing eliminates those mile-long terminal walks that make you dread flying. It's completely free, available at every major airport, and it's your legal right. Let's start there. Benefit number 10. Free airport assistance that nobody uses. Every major airport in America offers personal assistance for travelers who need help navigating terminals, wheelchairs, electric carts, escorts from check-in to your gate, from your arrival gate to baggage claim. This isn't a luxury service for people with severe disabilities. This is a federally mandated accommodation under the Air Carrier Access Act. And it applies to anyone who has difficulty walking long distances, which includes most people over 60, whether they admit it or not. You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to request it. Here's how it works. Call your airline 24 to 48 hours before your flight and say you'd like to request wheelchair assistance. Or when you check in online, look for the special assistance section and select mobility assistance. Or simply walk up to the check-in counter and tell the agent you need help getting to your gate. Within minutes, someone arrives with a wheelchair or cart, takes your carry-on, and guides you through the entire airport. They know the shortcuts, they use priority security lanes, they wait with you at your gate. On arrival, someone meets you at the aircraft door and takes you all the way to baggage claim or ground transportation. This service is free at every US airport and most international ones. Yet less than 5% of eligible travelers ever use it. Why? Because people assume it's only for passengers who can't walk at all, or they feel embarrassed asking for help, or they simply don't know the service exists. But airports created this specifically for travelers like you. Those terminals weren't designed for comfort. They're built for efficiency, which means long distances, confusing layouts, and endless walking. Requesting assistance isn't admitting weakness. It's using infrastructure that was built specifically to help you travel with dignity instead of exhaustion. Next time you book a flight, add that request. You'll see how different the airport feels when you're not dragging luggage for half a mile before you even reach security. Benefit number 9. The TSA Cares helpline that eliminates security stress. If airport security makes you anxious, if you have medical devices that complicate screening, if you simply want someone to guide you through the process without confusion or rushing, TSA has a program most people have never heard of. It's called TSA Cares, and it assigns a passenger support specialist to meet you at the security checkpoint and personally escort you through screening. This is a real TSA program with a dedicated phone line, trained staff, and availability at every major airport. Here's the number, and I'm saying it twice so you can write it down. 877-227-5511. That's 877-227-5511. Call at least 72 hours before your flight. They'll ask for your flight details, which airport you're departing from, and what assistance you need. Maybe you have a pacemaker and you're worried about the metal detector. Maybe you carry medications and you want to declare them properly without stress. Maybe you just move slowly and you don't want to feel rushed. Whatever your concern, tell them. On the day of your flight, a TSA officer meets you at the checkpoint entrance, walks you through every step, answers your questions in real time, and stays with you until you're completely through security. This service exists because TSA knows that standard screening procedures can be confusing or overwhelming for older travelers. They'd rather help you proactively than deal with problems at the checkpoint. Yet most seniors never call that number because they don't know it exists. Airlines certainly don't mention it, airports don't advertise it, but it's official TSA policy, and you have every right to use it. If security is the part of flying that makes you anxious, this one phone call changes everything. Save that number in your phone right now, 877-227-5511. Use it before your next trip and see how different security feels when you're not navigating it alone. Benefit number 8. Pre-boarding rights you don't need to justify. When the gate agent announces pre-boarding, that's your cue. Pre-boarding happens before first class, before elite status holders, before everyone else. It's specifically for passengers who need extra time or assistance boarding the aircraft. And here's what most people don't realize. You don't need a wheelchair to qualify. You don't need a doctor's note. If you need extra time to get settled, to stow your bag without people pushing past you, to arrange your belongings at your own pace, you qualify, period. The legal basis for this is the Air Carrier Access Act. Airlines must allow pre-boarding for passengers with disabilities, which includes mobility limitations that might not be obvious to others. Joint pain, arthritis, balance issues, slower movement, all of these count. You're not required to prove anything or explain your medical history. When pre-boarding is announced, simply approach the gate agent and say you need to pre-board due to mobility concerns. That's the phrase, mobility concerns. They'll let you board immediately. If you're traveling with a companion, they can pre-board with you. No questions, no paperwork, no judgment. Why does this matter? Because boarding has become a competitive rush. Overhead bins fill up fast. People crowd the aisles. If you're moving slower than the flow of traffic, you feel pressured and stressed. Pre-boarding removes all of that. You walk onto an empty plane, you have time to lift your bag, get settled in your seat, organize your items, buckle in calmly. By the time everyone else boards, you're already comfortable while they're fighting for space. This is one of the simplest benefits to claim, yet most seniors stand in line with everyone else because they don't realize pre-boarding includes them. Next flight, don't wait. When you hear pre-boarding called, that's you. Use it. Benefit number 7. Medical equipment exemptions that save you money. If you travel with a CPAP machine, oxygen concentrator, medications, or any medical device, listen carefully. None of these count toward your carry-on baggage limit. The TSA and FAA explicitly exempt medical equipment from standard baggage rules. You can bring your regular carry-on bag, your personal item, and all your medical equipment on top of that. Airlines cannot charge you extra. They cannot force you to check medical devices. This is federal law. Here's what you need to know. When you reach security, inform the TSA officer immediately that you're traveling with medical equipment. Point it out clearly. Say, I have a CPAP machine and liquid medications that need special screening. They'll use a different screening process. Your devices will be inspected, but not damaged. If you're uncomfortable with public screening, you can request a private screening room. That's your right. For medications, the 3.4-ounce liquid rule does not apply to medically necessary liquids. You can bring full-size bottles of prescription medications, insulin, liquid antibiotics, whatever you need. Just declare them at the start of screening. The mistake people make is trying to hide their medical items or hoping TSA won't notice. That creates problems. When you declare everything up front, screening goes smoothly. Keep your medications in their original labeled containers. If you're traveling internationally, bring a letter from your doctor listing your prescriptions. It's not required for domestic flights, but it prevents questions. The bottom line is this. Your health needs don't cost you baggage fees or limit what you can carry. The system already accounts for medical equipment. You just need to know how to navigate it properly. Benefit number 6. Seat request strategies that actually work. Airlines eliminated most senior-specific seating perks years ago. You can't call and get a free upgrade just because you're over 60. But what you can do is request specific seat accommodations based on mobility or medical needs, and airlines are required to make reasonable efforts to accommodate you. This is not the same as demanding first class. This is about getting an aisle seat so you can access the restroom easily, or a front row seat so you don't have to walk far down the aisle, or a seat with extra legroom if you have joint issues. Here's the strategy. When you book your flight, call the airline directly instead of just selecting seats online. Explain that you have mobility limitations and you're requesting an aisle seat near the front of the cabin for medical reasons. Don't ask for an upgrade, ask for accommodation. Most airlines have internal notes where agents can flag your reservation. They can't guarantee specific seats, but they can prioritize your request. If you check in online and the available seats aren't suitable, call the airline again or visit the gate desk before boarding. Politely explain your situation and ask if any better seats have opened up. Will this get you into business class for free? No. But will it often get you a more comfortable seat in your cabin without paying extra? Yes. Airlines have discretion to move passengers for operational or accommodation reasons. And agents often prefer helping calm, respectful travelers who explain their needs clearly. The key is framing it as a medical accommodation, not a perk. That language matters. It signals that you're requesting something within their policy framework, not asking for special treatment. And it works far more often than most people realize. Benefit number 5. Compensation rights when flights go wrong. When your flight is delayed, canceled, or you miss a connection. Most travelers just sigh and wait for the airline to tell them what's next. But you have specific legal rights to compensation, rebooking meals, and hotel stays depending on the situation. The problem is, airlines won't volunteer this information. They'll offer the minimum unless you know to ask for more. In the United States, if your flight is significantly delayed or canceled, the airline must rebook you on the next available flight at no extra charge. If there's a long wait, they should provide meal vouchers. If you're stranded overnight, they should provide a hotel. In Europe, the rules are even stronger under EU Regulation 261. If your flight is delayed more than 3 hours, cancelled without proper notice, or you're denied boarding due to overbooking, you may be entitled to cash compensation ranging from 250 to 600 euros depending on flight distance. This applies to any flight departing from an EU airport, regardless of the airline. But here's the catch. You have to file a claim. Airlines won't just hand you money. You need to document what happened, keep your receipts, and submit a compensation request. When your flight is disrupted, don't just accept whatever the airline offers first. Go to the ticket counter or call their customer service line and clearly state what you're entitled to. Use phrases like, "I'm requesting the full compensation available under regulations," or "I'm filing an EU 261 claim for this cancellation." The moment you demonstrate knowledge of your rights, the airline's response changes. They know you're informed, which means they can't brush you off. Keep records of everything. Boarding passes, delay notifications, receipts for meals or hotels you had to pay for yourself. That documentation becomes your leverage when filing claims later. Your rights exist whether you're 20 or 70. The difference is knowing they're there and demanding them. Benefit number 4. Companion assistance policies that make travel possible. Some travelers can't fly alone safely, but they also can't afford to buy 2 tickets. Several airlines have companion care programs where a companion can fly with you at a reduced rate, or sometimes for free if you require assistance. Due to medical or mobility reasons, these policies vary by airline and they're not widely advertised, but they exist. Typically, they require documentation from a doctor stating that you cannot travel alone and that you need a companion for medical reasons. If this applies to you, contact the airline's special assistance department before booking. Explain your situation and ask if they offer companion travel programs. Some carriers will allow a necessary caregiver to fly with you without paying the full fare. Others might not have formal programs but can make exceptions on a case-by-case basis. The key is asking before you book, not after. And be prepared to provide medical documentation. This isn't about getting a cheap ticket for your travel buddy, it's about genuine medical need for assistance. When framed that way, airlines have more flexibility than you might expect. Another option is asking about the airline's disability services. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, airlines must provide certain accommodations for disabled passengers, which can include allowing a companion to assist with mobility, medication management, or other essential needs during the flight. Even if the companion pays full fare, the airline should seat you together and allow them to help you during boarding and deplaning. Don't assume it's impossible to travel just because you need help. Call the airline, explain your needs clearly, and ask what accommodations are available. You might be surprised by what they can arrange. Benefit number 3. The TSA notification card for private communication. If you have a medical condition, disability, or simply need to communicate something to TSA officers without announcing it publicly at the checkpoint, there's a simple tool you can use: the TSA notification card. This is a free downloadable card from tsa.gov that you can print at home. It has space for you to write your specific needs or conditions. When you reach security, you hand the card to the TSA officer silently. They read it, adjust their screening approach accordingly, and hand it back. You don't have to explain anything out loud. This card is designed for travelers with hearing loss, cognitive disabilities, medical implants, anxiety conditions, or any situation where verbal communication at the checkpoint might be difficult or uncomfortable. Maybe you have a pacemaker and you can't go through the metal detector. Maybe you have an ostomy bag and you need private screening. Maybe you simply get flustered in crowds and you need the officer to speak slowly and clearly. Write it on the card, and the officer will accommodate you without making a public announcement. To get the card, go to tsa.gov and search for notification card. Print it, fill in your information, and consider laminating it so it lasts for multiple trips. Keep it somewhere easily accessible, like in your jacket pocket or the front pouch of your bag. This small piece of paper can transform your security experience from stressful to dignified. It's official TSA policy, it's completely free, and it gives you control over how you communicate your needs. If security checkpoints make you anxious because you have to explain medical issues in front of strangers, this card solves that problem instantly. Benefit number 2, TSA PreCheck value for seniors. You've probably heard of TSA PreCheck, the program that gives you access to faster security lanes where you keep your shoes on, leave your laptop in your bag, and move through screening in a fraction of the time. It costs $78 for 5 years. That breaks down to about $16 per year. For seniors who fly even twice a year, this might be one of the best travel investments you'll ever make. Not because of the speed, though that's nice, but because of the physical ease. With PreCheck, you don't bend down to untie shoes. You don't struggle to remove your belt or jacket. You don't dig through your bag to pull out electronics. Everything that's physically demanding about security screening is eliminated. You walk through a shorter line, put your bag on the belt without unpacking it, and you're done. For travelers with joint pain, balance issues, or simply limited stamina, that difference is huge. To apply, go to tsa.gov/precheck and fill out a short online application. Then schedule a 10-minute in-person appointment at an enrollment center. Bring your ID, pay the fee, and within a few days you'll receive your known traveler number. Add that number to all your future flight reservations, and every boarding pass will show TSA PreCheck approved. Here's something most people don't know. Some credit cards reimburse the PreCheck fee completely. Chase Sapphire cards, Capital One Venture cards, and several others offer this benefit. Check your credit card perks before you pay out of pocket. And if you're worried that PreCheck conflicts with other services like wheelchair assistance or TSA Cares, it doesn't. You can use PreCheck and still request all the other accommodations we've talked about. They're complimentary, not exclusive. PreCheck just makes the actual screening part faster and easier. Benefit number 1. Documentation that protects your rights. This final benefit isn't a service or a phone number, it's a strategy that makes everything else work better. Keep documentation. Before you fly, take photos of your boarding pass, your baggage tags, your seat assignment. During your trip, save receipts for anything you pay for that the airline should have covered. If your flight is delayed, screenshot the delay notification. If an agent makes a promise, write down their name and the time. If you request an accommodation and it's denied, document that too. Why does this matter? Because when something goes wrong, documentation is your leverage. Airlines operate on records. If you call customer service 2 weeks after a canceled flight and you have no proof of what happened, you're relying entirely on their internal notes, which might be incomplete or incorrect. But if you have photos, receipts, timestamps, and written records, you control the narrative. You can file compensation claims with confidence. You can dispute charges. You can escalate complaints with specific evidence. This is especially important for seniors because ageism is real in customer service. Some agents assume older travelers are confused or misremembering details. When you pull out documentation and calmly present exactly what happened with dates, times, and evidence, that assumption vanishes. Suddenly, you're not a confused passenger. You're someone who knows their rights and has the records to prove it. Start this habit now. Before every flight, create a simple folder on your phone with screenshots of your booking, your seat assignment, your flight status. If something goes wrong, you're already prepared. And if nothing goes wrong, you delete the folder when you get home. 5 minutes of effort, that could save you hours of frustration. So there you have it, 10 benefits that actually exist, backed by federal regulations, airline policies, and programs with real phone numbers and real staff. Free airport assistance that eliminates exhausting terminal walks, TSA Cares, with personal security escorts. Pre-boarding rights you don't need to justify, medical equipment exemptions that save baggage fees. Seat request strategies that work better than begging for upgrades. Compensation rights when flights go wrong. Companion assistance policies for those who need them, TSA notification cards for private communication, PreCheck benefits that make screening physically easier, and documentation habits that protect everything else. None of these are secrets in the sense that they're hidden conspiracies. They're secrets because airlines stopped advertising them. Airports stay quiet about them, and the industry profits when you don't ask. But now you know. You have phone numbers, specific programs, exact phrases to use. The difference between exhausting travel and comfortable travel isn't your age or your money. It's whether you know what to request and whether you're willing to ask for it. Because here's the uncomfortable truth the industry doesn't want you to understand. These services exist specifically for you, but they only work when you claim them. Before your next flight, make a list. Which of these benefits apply to your situation? If you have trouble walking long distances, request airport assistance when you book. If security makes you anxious, call TSA Cares 3 days before you fly. If you're traveling with medical equipment, know your rights before you pack. If you want easier screening, apply for PreCheck this week. Don't wait until you're standing in a terminal, exhausted and confused. Prepare now while you have time to research, make phone calls, and set everything up properly. Airlines eliminated the red carpet they used to roll out for senior travelers. But they replaced it with legal obligations they hope you never discover. The power is in your hands now. You know the programs exist. You know the phone numbers. You know what language to use when making requests. The only thing left is using that knowledge. Which of these benefits will you claim on your next trip? Comment below and tell me. And if this video gave you information you've never heard before, share it with another traveler who needs to know. Because the airlines won't tell them, but you can. If you want more honest breakdowns of how air travel actually works, what your rights really are, and how to navigate airports without the industry taking advantage of you, make sure you're subscribed. Because the next video reveals what those overhead call buttons actually do, and why flight attendants wish you'd stop pressing them for the wrong reasons. Until then, know your rights, ask for what's yours, and travel like someone who understands the system instead of fighting it.